Freedom for all.
Radio for all. You are now live with the Humble Prince on Sahara FM Radio. Yeah. And we're back live with the Humble Prince, Sahara FM Radio. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. That was a fantastic entertainment news segment by Tuyas Phillips. Again, I just want to say that tonight's show is brought to you by the African Entertainment Awards USA. Please go to their website, www.africanentertainmentaward.com. No S at the end, right? They have the award show is coming up October 31st. And all of you saying that my music is old, yeah, that's DJ Humble Prince today, man. That's my little iPod. So I'm giving you the classics. Anyway, right now I'm joined by a very esteemed guest. And when I was reading this lady's biography, man, I was just intimidated. So I'm just gonna skip all that. She's an attorney and just say she's a mother of a beautiful 2-year-old. Please let's welcome the beautiful Afua Atta-Mensah Esquire. Oh yeah.
Glad to be on the show tonight.
Yeah, fantastic. And please say hello to my guest co-host.
Hi,
Shirley.
How are you?
Yeah.
How are you, sis?
Yeah, fantastic.
Well, thank
you. First of all, let me say big shout out to the person that introduced us and everything. So, Afua, I'm really glad that you're on the show today. And something that's really been in the news of late for maybe all the wrong reasons and right reasons as well. Black Lives Matter. So two things. Let's just say three things happened recently. The Bernie Sanders,
Yes.
they kind of shut that down.
Yes, they did.
They tried to shut down Hillary, but Hillary said,
So come meet me in the back.
meet me in the back.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so, actually, I think Secret Service
Right.
prevented them. At least she met with them.
Right.
And recently, Ben Carson, Republican presidential candidate, actually had an opinion piece in USA Today where he said that they're doing this all wrong. So let's just start. Let's give people some backtrack. Why was Black Lives Matter formed?
Sure, I think that Black Lives Matter is created under the framing of where we have nothing but the systemic killing of black people in this country,
Okay,
right? By
good.
the hands of the police state.
Right.
And so we're really lucky in our times to see a movement that's literally pushing back on systemic racism in all its forms.
Right. So that kind of addresses, and Shirley, you could chime into this if you want to. That kind of addresses because when I first heard Black Lives Matter, I was of the narrative too that, you know what, all lives matter, and what's all this outrage when police kill blacks as compared to when blacks kill blacks, and
Right.
people bring up Chicago and stuff like that. So we'll talk about what Bernie Sanders said, but I've kind of done some reading and some education of myself, and I found out that the reason for the killings are kind of different. I'll let you talk about that.
Sure, I think, I've heard
Right.
the same thing, right? Where people ask, well, why are you mad when, it's the police and not black on black?
Right.
But, that's a false narrative because one or two individuals killing, the other, again, is the state killing you
Right.
and not being held liable. So, if I kill someone, I'm going to be arrested.
Right.
Right? And it's not as if there's any dearth of black people getting knocked, right? I'm a public defender, right? We're in the system every day being locked up at disparate levels. So the issue is, if the state that's supposed to enforce the laws has to be bound by them, or else what is the point to this structure? What's the point to this Constitution we're supposed to hold dear
Okay.
if the state can kill with impunity?
Right. That's
Absolutely.
crazy. Sarah, do you want to add to that? Right.
And I just, even as a black woman, it's like when I see cops now, unfortunately, and this is not for every police officer, but I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe, and it shouldn't be that way. These are people that are supposed to serve and protect.
Yeah.
It's almost like when I see a cop, I'm
Right.
like, okay, you have to be careful.
Right. And here's one thing, though. I don't think all cops should be impugned. I believe
Right.
there are some really good cops out there. I know some. I have buddies that are cops. But at the same time, there are some assholes. And I'm going to
Absolutely.
give you an example. In 1988, I was 14. I was in Nigeria. I came here for vacation. A cop, and I was the kind of guy that loved to go out. I used to just go out every day. I mean, I just came from boarding school in Nigeria. I came here on holiday. I wanted
Happy to be here.
I wanted to go out and tell everybody, go back home and tell everybody what I
Yeah.
did. So I went out. Big shout out to my family in Left Rack City, the Elect Bears, and my cousin Shala. When I went out, this cop actually stopped me and said, "You know what? You look wanted." I swear to God, I could still see his face, and I was like, "What do you mean?" He said, there was a crime committed, something, and you look like you fit the description of
Because we all
somebody.
look alike.
I swear to God.
Right.
And do you know? I'm like and right there and then I was so scared, and he said, "Well, go ahead." But the fear that he put in me, I was 14.
Right.
I went back home and I never went out again.
It's conditioning you from an early age.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So here's what happened. So like I said, the people, my uncle, my cousin's dad I was staying with noticed that, you know, you can notice like a change in my behavior. It's like, you don't go out anymore. And I had to tell him because, and I was saying, please don't tell my parents. But I didn't do anything wrong. Right. So Lord knows how many other kids they've probably done that to.
Yep. All the time. And how many kids are killed? We've seen it. And what about the ones that aren't documented?
Exactly.
And listen, we agree all cops shouldn't be impugned, but I want them to say all black people shouldn't be impugned. We shouldn't all be made to feel as if we are
criminals.
doing exactly.
Right. I think some of, you know what I think, and guys, please, if you're listening, we'd like to hear from you. The number to call is 917-284-9811 if you just want to add to the discussion about Black Lives Matter. And you know, I think good cops should hold the bad cops accountable. What do you think about that?
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the problem is why I say it's a whole system and you have Black Lives Matter fighting a system is because of that blue wall of silence stops folks. Remember what happened in Baltimore. These cops, several of them had problems before, right?
Yeah, 48 hours.
Exactly. And several officers who had testified against them got in trouble. Yeah. And it's that blue wall of silence that makes it a systemic issue, right? Where we are guilty until proven otherwise, and then we're murdered and acted as if we're complicit in our murder just for our skin color. Right?
Yeah. So let me say this. Let me ask you a question real quick. What did you think about what they did with the Bernie Sanders thing, where they disrupted his event? I was totally against it, I'll be honest, but what do you think?
Listen, is it a tactic that I think I would have used? No. But am I glad that folks are holding politicians accountable when they want to talk about what they want to talk about? Sure. I don't think it took back the movement, but it wasn't a tactic I would have used.
But I said not Ben Carson, but Bernie Sanders, though, is kind of...
he's a progressive, right?
He's done a progressive, civil rights. Exactly. And he's of the mindset that, you know, to try to improve Black lives by improving unemployment and stuff.
No, I agree, but listen, you push people on the issues. If they're your friends, then they'll prove themselves as your friend on an issue.
Okay, because, you know, that's why they started to label them anarchists and stuff like that, thanks to Bill O'Reilly. But another thing, what about I don't even think Hillary knew she was being recorded.
Listen, I thought it was really good dialogue. So you were talking about with the Bernie Sanders. I think it just shows two different tactics of taking folks to the side, having a full in-depth conversation. Right,
but I think they wanted to do the same thing with Hillary. But like I said, I heard the Secret Service
shut that right down.
Right, and at least she met with them. Right. And I like what she said. You don't change hearts, you change laws.
I agree.
I like that. Even though they're saying that her husband implemented laws that led to the incarceration of a lot of Black men in this day. I mean, it's a great book. What's the name of that book? By Michelle Alexander. The New Jim Crow. Yeah, that kind of breaks down if you guys get a chance. Sure, yeah. You have anything you want to add or?
No, not right now.
Oh, yeah. Look like you're warming up. But here's the thing. We have to round up soon. But Ben Carson recently did an opinion piece in USA Today, and I thought it was fantastic. I kind of liked it, and I put it out there on my social media, on my Facebook page, and surprisingly, a lot of people agreed with him. And here's what he said. He said, the idea that disrupting and protesting Bernie Sanders speeches would change what's wrong in America is lunacy. He said the Black Lives Matter movement is focused on the wrong targets, to the detriment of Blacks who would like to see real change and the benefit of its powerful white liberal fundraisers using the attacks on Sanders for political purposes that mean nothing for the problems that face our community, meaning the Black community. What do you think about that statement?
Ooh, that was a whole lot.
Sorry, yeah, it was a lot.
But listen, no, it's a lot to digest because it's a complex issue. And, you know, there's some points, I'm not one to usually agree with Dr. Carson on everything, but he has some points.
He does?
He has some
Thank you.
He has some points. Right. On the other side, you know, I'm a lawyer, I'm going to argue both sides. You know, Listen, but on the other side, right, what did they do that harmed the movement, right? Like, if you're Dr. King, why we can't wait, right? Like, the issue is that, what's the primary issue? Stop killing us. And so if it's interrupting Bernie Sanders, if it's, you know, people had the same feeling when we were marching through Times Square, shutting down the Apple Store during Christmas, if that's the interruption that it takes to have a change in consciousness and a real conversation about institutional racism, Bernie, you know, he's going to have 10 minutes out of speech.
I like what you said, marching. I'm not, because marching is our constitutional rights, but I'm sorry, I don't like the protesting and the looting and the riots and all that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not with all that.
Yeah.
I'm definitely. But, you know, another thing he said, and again, I could kind of relate to what he said, where he said he grew up in a very tough neighborhood, and his mother gave he and his brother a library card. That was one of the first things when I came in '91. That was a week later. My mom took me to the library, the Brooklyn Library, and got me a library card. And I've been reading ever since. It might not show, especially on my Facebook post, guys, but trust me, I do read a lot. I read a lot. I just you know, so I think, and in this day and age, information is ubiquitous. Just pick up a book, go on the internet and read.
It's everywhere. There's no excuse not to know.
There's not
pretty much. Yes.
So I thank you for all the work you're doing, and I'll be remiss if I don't read some of your very intimidating biography here.
Oh,
but you know, let's just say
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, Afua currently serves as the Director of Litigation and Policy for the Safety Net Project at the Urban Justice Center, where she oversees the project's affirmative litigation on behalf of classes and individuals in federal and state courts.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was reading that.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that, just so that people know that you know what you're talking about with regards to Black Lives Matter.
Sure. So it's a civil rights organization. We
Yeah.
handle social justice, racial justice, and economic justice on behalf of all New Yorkers, no matter their income, no matter their race or creed, to make sure everyone has a chance to exercise their due process rights.
That's so fantastic, man. I read all that. I was like, man, I don't have nothing. I only have I said, and she's the mother of a 2-year-old daughter and a proud resident of Central Harlem. That's good enough.
Well, actually, there is something that I mean, I don't know if you want to tell everybody this, but as far as what you did in Ghana for, you know, women who were victims of marital rape, I do want you to, you know, say a little bit about that. Just that's very impressive and very important, especially, you know, back home where women, you know, they don't really have a voice.
Sure.
Still.
No, thank you so much. Listen, I'm honored to be first generation, and believe heartily was raised that you have to go home.
Right.
And so I was lucky enough to get a Fulbright to go back home, go to Ghana. Shout out to all my Ghanaians.
Yeah, we have a Ghanaian in the house. Big Kwesi in the house. Yeah,
Big Kwesi at the same. We everywhere. We like visa Ghanaians. We everywhere you want to be. And so I was blessed enough to be able to go home and learn from attorneys there and be able to represent women and some of the different courts throughout to make sure that we are being treated respectfully and able to leave dangerous situations.
Yeah, please. I know, Shirley, thank you so much for bringing that. I was going to talk about that. That's something that we really need to delve into, because a lot of people feel that because they're married, that their wives can, you know, rape doesn't really exist.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And you did some really phenomenal work. Yeah, Shirley, man, she said, "Oh, send me her information." She does her homework.
Listen,
she don't play.
Out for each other.
Yeah. So, Afua, thank you so much. And
thank you
yeah, definitely. I wish, you know, like I said, we're going to be taking I'll make the announcement soon, but hopefully later on in the year, we'll definitely like to,
I'd love to
have you back and everything. So, can you please tell us anything you're working on? What can we expect upcoming?
There's a whole lot going on. We have some litigation going, a lot of political movements in Central Harlem. We're trying to support Africans coming into elected office.
Okay, good. Hey, maybe I should run for office.
Listen.
Yeah.
What division were you looking at?
Mayor Humble Prince. We need some humble folks.
I don't know about humble, but you know.
Fantastic, man.
Debatable.
Please, if there's anybody you'd like to acknowledge or give a shout out to, please, the floor is yours.
Oh, well, so I'm going to say Ghana again and again. Everybody in the Bronx, Harlem, all my good Nigerian family, all through here.
Boy.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
And to my daughter, Arama.
Oh, yeah. I bet you she's beautiful, just like her mom. Yeah, fantastic. There you have it. Afua Atta-Mensah, who is an attorney. Yeah, it's dedicated.
How can we reach you though? Like, how can people learn more about you? Or you on social media?
Yeah, Facebook, Afua Atta-Mensah, and then there's Facebook Afua, AFUA 4, the number 4, the people. Twitter and on Facebook.
Yeah, that's good, man. You served as a visiting lecturer at the Kwame Nkrumah University. Yeah, I didn't, you know, you did. That's good stuff. My parents actually, my dad, well, my mom didn't want it, but my dad actually named me after Kwame
Nkrumah. A son before Nkrumah, revolutionary before his time.
Yeah, it's a shame that, you know, he had to go into exile at the end of his, but that guy was. I love that dude. Anyway, there you have it. Black Lives Matter. You know, the conversation is going to continue going, and you know. We wish all the best for everybody. But, you know, I wanted to ask you, so what's the main beef against All Lives Matter, real quick?
Because All Lives Matter is not telling the truth, because they don't. Because if all lives matter, right, then Eric Garner would still be alive, and the cops who killed him would at least not be getting their pension.
Right.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have asked that.
You know, I saw something on Facebook, and this illustrates it perfectly. There was a burning house.
Exactly.
And the house that wasn't on fire.
Right.
And someone was watering the house that wasn't on fire and said, all houses matter.
Right. I thought that was
pretty much
perfect.
That pretty much sums it up.
Yeah, sums it up. Afua, thank you so much. We'll be in touch, and hopefully we can have you back. So there you have it. We're going to take another break, and when we come back, we're going to be joined by DJ Yusuf, aka DJ Wall Street. You know, just lighten the discussion a little bit, and also we're going to have a callback segment with regards to the Shibok girls This is even a milestone I wish I wasn't even talking about, man. This is the 500th day tomorrow, but we're going to be joined by Professor Okome, and we're going to just talk about that. Anyway, we'll take a break, and we'll be right back, live with Umber Prince.
That's what you really need.